They were a shadow, but not the very image. All of those things were meant to point to Jesus Christ and what he would do on the cross. And
A
so,
prototype, if you will.
yes, absolutely.
Okay. Now here's the thing that I find interesting when Orthodox discuss this topic with Protestants, especially Calvinists and radical reformers on that side. When you mentioned the temple and sacrifices there,
Mm-hmm.
let's remember that for any animal to have been sacrificed in the temple, it had to be blameless and could not have anything deficient, let's use that word
Mm-hmm.
for a moment, associated with it. The scapegoat was the one on which the sins were placed that was then driven out into the wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
It could not be sacrificed because it had sin offerings placed on it. It was considered unclean and impure. So it was not sacrificed, but only a clean lamb, devoid of any impurities or imperfections, could then be offered as a sacrifice in the temple. So when Protestants say that Jesus was the sacrifice on the cross by accepting all of our sins, how is that then the fulfillment of what we saw in temple practices? Because it's the exact opposite. If he had sins on him and was being sacrificed to the Father, when that's not the prototype that was presented in the temple itself. How do you explain that?
Well, first, when it comes to what everything in the temple represented, I don't think anybody in our world, and I don't know anybody that's a total expert on that. It's one of those things where I think everybody tends to read their theology into it a little bit. But I do think it's interesting how within the process, while they had the animals they would sacrifice and kill, they had one they let go. I've heard some say that's a picture of those of us who are able to go free, that in spite of our sins. That's kind of a picture of the saved believer. I can't say for sure.